Flying in a fighter aircraft that is made of recycled wood and glue definitely sounds crazy, but that's exactly what some of the most innovative and daring aircraft designers did during World War II. In this video, we'll explore the fascinating story of how these wooden wonders were created and why they were so effective in combat. One of the most famous examples of a wooden fighter aircraft is the de Havilland Mosquito, a British twin-engine multi-role combat aircraft that was introduced in 1941. It was nicknamed the Wooden Wonder, or Mossy, because its frame was constructed mostly of wood, using a composite technique that sandwiched layers of balsa wood and birch plywood together with glue. This made the Mosquito very light and fast, capable of reaching speeds of over 400 miles per hour, faster than most enemy fighters at the time. It also made it very versatile, as it could perform various roles such as bomber, fighter bomber, night fighter, maritime strike, and photo reconnaissance. The Mosquito was so successful that it flew with the Royal Air Force and other air forces in Europe, Asia, and the Pacific until the end of the war. But why did the British use wood to build a fighter aircraft in the first place? Well, there were several reasons. One was the shortage of metal and other strategic materials during the war, which forced them to look for alternative sources. Another was the simplicity and low cost of wood production, which allowed them to mass-produce the Mosquito quickly and cheaply. And finally, there was the genius of Geoffrey de Havilland, the chief designer of the Mosquito, who had a vision of a high-speed, unarmed bomber that could outrun any enemy interceptor. He had already experimented with wood construction in his previous designs, such as the DH-88 Comet Racer and the DH-91 Albatross airliner, and he believed that wood had many advantages over metal, such as being lighter, stronger, more resilient, and easier to repair. The Mosquito was not the only wooden fighter aircraft in history. Another example is the Heinkel He-162, a German single-jet, swept-winged aircraft that was designed by engineer Siegfried Gunther. The He-162 was a result of the Emergency Fighter Program, which aimed to produce a cheap and simple jet fighter that could be flown by inexperienced pilots. It was made primarily of wood and metal, using glue and nails to save on welding and riveting. It also had the unique feature of mounting the jet engine above the fuselage, which reduced the risk of foreign object damage and simplified maintenance. Feeling the adrenaline rush? Make sure to subscribe to our channel to witness more jaw-dropping moments with fighter jets. Hit subscribe and join our passionate community of aviation enthusiasts. The excitement is just getting started. So how did these wooden fighter aircraft perform in combat? Well, the Mosquito proved to be very effective and reliable in their missions. The Mosquito was especially feared by the Germans, who called it the Terror Bomber, or the Wooden Bomb. It could carry a bomb load equivalent to that of a 4-engine bomber like the B-17 Flying Fortress or Lancaster, but with much greater speed and agility. It could also evade enemy fighters and flak with ease thanks to its high altitude and maneuverability. The Mosquito was involved in many daring raids and precision attacks against high-value targets such as factories, bridges, dams, prisons, Gestapo headquarters, and even Hitler's bunker. It also excelled as a night fighter, shooting down hundreds of German bombers and V-1 flying bombs. The Mosquito had a very low loss rate, with only about 10% of its total production being shot down by enemy fire. The He-162, on the other hand, did see combat, but it did not perform well in its missions. It could reach speeds of over 550 miles per hour, but it was still slower than the Allied fighters. It also had a very short range, due to its high fuel consumption and small fuel tank. It could fly only about 200 miles with full fuel, not enough to reach most targets or return safely. The He-162 also had a very high accident rate thanks to its poor design and quality. It was prone to structural failures, engine fires, and landing crashes. It was not a reliable or effective weapon against Allied forces, even though it was produced in large numbers. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride. Subscribe to our channel for more jaw-dropping fighter jet moments. Hit subscribe and never miss a high-flying beat.